Hi, my name's Edward Conn. I'm a transpersonal psychotherapist, dual diagnosis clinician, and an addictions consultant. Today, I just want to talk a little bit about the concept of why people, when they're trying to give up an addiction, as they're trying to stop that particular addiction, they maybe find that they adopt another behavior instead of that. So it seems as if what they do is they replace one behavior with another. So the way I would explain this is if you think about an addiction as being a behavior which is being dictated by an underlying set of conditions, patterns, ideas, learned behavior, experiences, habits, feelings, moods, environmental cues, stressors, all of these sorts of things. What you can consider is that the addiction is the behavior that arises out of all of those underlying factors. And those underlying factors are the underlying territory of what is going on inside of that human being, that person. And the addiction is a way of that complex set of emotional, behavioral patterns and cues and information being expressed at peak times as the addiction. So a way of understanding that underlying material is that it's really an energy structure. It contains energy, and that energy is sitting in a potential form all the time. And at certain points it can rise up and become kinetic energy or acting out energy, which is the underlying energy becoming behavior, and that is the addiction. So when someone changes the behavior on the top, the addiction, whatever that might be for that person, they're only changing one element, which is the behavior itself. They're trying to cap that, and in hoping by capping it that they resolve the problem. But what they aren't able to see and what they don't see is the underlying network or cluster of energy systems that is feeding in to and creating that addictive behavioral expression. So when they try and stop the behavior that they're used to doing, they then might find over a period of time another behavior starts to emerge which replaces it. And the reason for this is I would look at it, understand it, is the underlying territory and that connective cluster of mood and emotional states and behavioral states and tensions are being expressed externally in this new behavior which begins to replace it. So what you're seeing then is a movement of energy expressing itself somewhere else. So it's a bit like a leak. If you put your finger in the place where the leak is, the pressure of the water underneath will rise elsewhere and will find another weak spot and it will leak out of there. So that is an energy system. Water flowing is energy flow, and it has pressure to it, and it has dynamic force to it. Similarly, your internal world has dynamic tensions and forces within them, and they express themselves through behavior as well as expression and other things. But in this circumstance, we're talking about addiction, and that's the involuntary expression of that inner tension. So that's the reason why when somebody tries to attempt to resolve a complex behavior themselves, they can often find that it's replaced with something else. So what I've done over the years is look at ways of tackling that underlying tension structure. And in learning how to do that in a manner of different ways, I've learnt to change the underlying driving mechanism, the underlying cluster of energy that drives the addictive behavior. And in learning how to do that, I have learned how to change that addictive behavior at a root level, that it no longer can express itself in the same way. And effectively what this does is it de-energizes the addictive behavior because the underlying structure is being systematically changed. And that is how I've learned to resolve addictive behavior. There's a lot of specialist techniques and protocols and methods that I apply, and it's when these are used together that they can bring significant change for people, That enables them to experience relief from their addictive behaviour, the behaviour that they're not in control of, and also experience an inner change in how they feel and how they feel what were those impulses and drives beforehand. They begin to decrease very significantly until eventually they're not there at all. And I can do that work with someone over a relatively short period of time, somewhere between 2 to 3 months. So if this is something that interests you and you'd like to know more about it, feel free to have a look at my website. The link's below, and you can read about some case examples there. If you feel you'd like to take that further and you'd like to talk to me, you can contact me and we could set up an online discussion. Hope you find this interesting. There'll be more videos to come. Have a great day. Bye-bye.